Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a little bit of a long time coming. Had some real life stuff kind of getting in the way of doing the last week of battles. But we're here for our Pokemon Swish Draft League Championship for 2026. The Pokemon Power and Nightmare AC. This will be a good one, I think. Who knows if it'll be 2-0 or 2-1, and who knows who's gonna win. But I have a feeling it's going to be a good one. It's just a gut feeling. All right, let's get into it. First battle of the series. Let's see here. Alright, I was instructed to lead with Garchomp for this first match. So we're going to respect the owner's wishes and lead with Garchomp, and we'll go from there. I assume that the opponent is going to start with Tyranitar, which is not going to be good for them with Garchomp leading, but we'll see. It is indeed Tyranitar. Surely they're not going to stay in because they're weak against us. So I'm going to Swords Dance. Like, I'm going to take this opportunity to try and Swords Dance and see if we could get something going here. Because even if Garchomp would have outright attacked this, Tyranitar would have outright attacked this. It doesn't have any moves we're weak to, so. Alright, we got the Swords Dance up. That is very scary and not good for the power. We'll see if the power can do anything to Garchomp as a result. Or will Garchomp just one-shot everything now? It beats the Venusaur one-shot. This one may be over already just on the sheer fact that Garchomp got its Swords Dance up. I'm not sure, even with Rhyperior's defense, if it's going to survive a Swords Dance Earthquake. It does. They go for Horn Drill. They do not get the Horn Drill. So, the luck not going the power's way here in the first match. Garchomp going to get another knockout. Well, with that being the case, if we can get rid of Walrein, which I assume will be, yeah, I was going to say one of their next ones. If Walrein goes down, I think this one's over already. Now I gotta decide, though, because we have our Swords Dance up. I could get greedy and go Rock Slide. But if we don't beat it, we're going to hurt a lot from the Ice Beam. Then again, even if it beats us, I like our chances against the remaining Pokemon. And we do have Sandveil up, so it might just flat out miss the Ice Beam anyway. Let's go Rock Slide and see what happens. Maybe it'll flinch from the Rock Slide, too. Walrein barely hangs on. It does not flinch, and it does land the Ice Beam. Garchomp will go down. And everyone's going to act like I'm an idiot, but seeing as Walrein had like 2 health left or whatever, I think it was worth the gamble, because we... On a different roll, I mean, I'll never know if that was a high roll or not, but on a different roll, maybe we get it there. Do we have any priority moves? We do have Ice Shard. Although it is water and ice. That doesn't matter, we should be faster. I'm going to Night Slash. Because it really doesn't matter. We're going to outspeed it. Alright, Weavile takes out Walrein. I mean, even with the Moltres coming out, I'm not that worried. Because we have the Lapras. And we got Rotom. Actually, Rotom's a better matchup because it can't do anything to Rotom. Its Hurricane wouldn't hurt us much because of us being electric. Its fire moves won't do anything to us because we're fire. Now the real question is, are they going to switch? I think we just Thunder, and whether it's Tyranitar or Moltres, we just take what we get. They're switching, so maybe we get a Thunder on Tyranitar, maybe we get a Paralysis. Thunder's going to be 50% accurate now, so that's not super great. But we land it. Luck being on Nightmare's side so far this battle. Got a crit as well, and the Paralysis, so yes, luck certainly skewing toward Nightmare. Wow. Volt Switch to get out of there. Because I was going to say, unless we got another crit Thunder back-to-back, we weren't going to take it out. It's probably going to go with a Rock move. Let's go Metagross. Alright, let's go Meteor Mash. We don't even need to mess with agility because it's paralyzed. We're going to outspeed it. Tyranitar will go down to Metagross. I'm just going to go ahead and Zen Headbutt because I don't want Rotom taking any unnecessary damage. I'm pretty sure Rotom can beat the Moltres, but I don't want to give Moltres, like, say it confused us with Hurricane, and then we hit ourselves like 3 times in a row. You know, I don't want to give Moltres any extra chances we don't need to give it. Another crit for the Nightmare. And so far, this is a Nightmare for the Pokemon Power. Here comes a Flamethrower from the Moltres. Metagross will not make it through that, but Metagross did its job. And then some, getting that extra damage on the Moltres. Alright, here comes Rotom. I probably could have just done Volt Switch. We'll try one Thunder. If it doesn't work, then we'll go for Volt Switch on the next turn if we miss. Moltres with a missed Hurricane. The luck still skewing in Nightmare's favor. They do miss Thunder, but wow. Power with a lot of missed attacks. Another missed Hurricane. And that first game is going to belong to Nightmare AC. That was a 3-0 victory in Game 1. Not the start, the power we're looking for. I'll be back in just a moment with Game 2. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're ready for Game 2 here, as the Pokemon have switched sides. So, it didn't show up in the first game, but Lapras is a matchup nightmare for this lineup that the Power has. It can literally do something against all 5 of the Pokemon on the team. I don't want to start with Walrein, because I'm pretty sure they're going to start with Garchomp, but they'll just switch to Lapras and we're in trouble. We start Moltres, it just Rock Slides us. Rhyperior can maybe take a hit. Tyranitar, we get the same result as last time. Venusaur, best case scenario, we're probably poisoning it and then going down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually start with Rhyperior, And we're just going to try Horn Drill. The idea is we'll Horn Drill that first turn. Maybe we get lucky and hit it, and it opens up the game. If we don't hit it, but we're lucky enough that they waste a turn Swords Dancing, maybe we survive the second attack and get a second chance. That's the best I got, because Walreign's the only thing super effective on it, but if we put Walrein in while Lapras is still alive, Lapras just comes out. So we're going to Horn Drill and hope for the best. Come on. Alright, they are Swords Dancing, so we might possibly get 2 tries at this. Come on, Rhyperior. The power needs you here. We do not land the Horn Drill, so now it's a matter of do we survive the Earthquake? We do. Can we get Horn Drill this time? 0 for 3 on Horn Drill in the finals. 0 for 3. That's probably going to be all she wrote. That was our best shot at getting rid of Garchomp. We just don't have any speed on this team. All the speed is on the bench. I guess we go Walrein, and if they switch out, they switch out. I know I was willing to stay in before, but they may not. We'll Ice Beam just in case they stay in, but I'd be surprised if they did. Yep. And that's why we didn't start with Walrein, because I knew they would just take it out. Because Lapras has Thunderbolt, so like I'm gonna have to really think here to play around it. So it's gonna Thunderbolt. It also has Ice Beam, but then we also have Giga Drain. So I think we go Venusaur. If we can get around Lapras, especially now that Garchomp doesn't have the Swords Dance, we have a chance, but it's iffy. Our best chance would have been if we could have landed one of those 2 Horn Drills. That was our absolute best chance of winning this. But you never say never. We are faster. Good to note if we don't, like, get defeated here. Alright, Venusaur hanging it. Critical hit, of course. Nightmare continuing to get the luck that the power does not get, as they are continuing to get critical hits and get the misses on the low accuracy moves. Venusaur will at least take out the Lapras. Alright, we've got the Weavile coming in. I'm going to say Moltres. I thought about Walrein, but it does have low kick, and since Walrein's supposed to be a big fat walrus, I have a feeling that low kick would do a good amount of damage to it. I shouldn't have done agility because they're probably going to switch. I should have predicted that and switched as well. Yeah, Rotom's out there. I was just saying, if we could get a Dragon Dance up, Tyranitar could beat some of these other Pokemon, but that's the problem, is trying to get a Dragon Dance or two up. Volt Switch, that's going to be Garchomp probably. Or Weavile for the low kick. Alright. Maybe we'll get lucky and Moltres' Flame Body will burn it. If it is low kick. It is indeed low kick. We did not get the Flame Body. That kind of sucks. Alright, well, we know that it's probably going to be the Rotom, right? Like, it's almost certainly going to be Rotom. So... maybe we can use this to our advantage to get at least a Dragon Dance up. Although that's... I don't feel like we survive a hit from the Garchomp here. Interesting they didn't go with Weavile here, since that's who they had out last time. I think I'm going to have to go for it, because if I try again, like... it might Swords Dance itself. I don't know. Do we even survive this Earthquake? We do not, so that's going to be ball game, I think. I think that's going to be all she wrote. I am in a Hydro Pump because I think they're going to switch. So far, they've been a lot more timid against going against Walrein as opposed to when I had Garchomp in. I mean, we do have the Sheer Colds on Walrein, so maybe... and Moltres can beat Metagross, potentially. Maybe Weavile. It's just... Garchomp... really, it's the Rotom that's going to be the biggest problem. If we can get around Rotom or not. Alright, interesting that they're using Agility when they're already faster. I mean, I guess that'll be good if they get around Walrein. Yeah, I think I gotta leave. We might need it at full health to take on Garchomp, though. Is the thing. What do they have left? They have... so Venusaur is basically not going to help at all here for the most part. Earthquake again, and hope for a miss from one of its 90% accurate moves. Alright, well, there we go. Some of that luck finally turning the Power's way. Alright, alright. Walrein surviving. I don't know how it missed the big fat walrus that's slow as dirt, but it did. Now I have a decision to make. Do I try to tank it? I'm going to try to tank whatever it throws at me. All right, they went Volt Switch, so a safer hit. All right, they're going Weavile, which is weird because it's not like I was going to use an ice move on Rotom Heat, but then again, I guess it does preserve Garchomp. Weavile survives it, not what the power wanted to see. Weavile will take out Walrein. And that's going to put us in a rough spot here. I think that does it. I think with Walrein gone, this one's probably over. Well, we did get the Flame Body this time. Yeah, we're going to have to hope for a lot of, like, confusion shenanigans. Alright, Moltres is going to take out Weavile. And it's officially a closer match than it was in Game 1. I would be shocked if it gets any closer, though. I think this is going to be a 2-0 victory for Nightmare. Which is a real shame, because looking at these teams' Game 3 lineups, I think Game 3 would have been... the advantage would have gone to the power, to be honest. But I don't think they'll ever get a chance to show that. Moltres 0 for 3 on Hurricane in the finals. 0 for 3. We have 0 for 3 on Horndrill from Rhyperior and 0 for 3 on Moltres from Hurricane. That is rough. It is hard to win when you can't get your moves to hit. Meanwhile, this same team landed 2 sheer colds in the last round. No, it was 3 sheer colds in the first round. That's what it was. Alright, well, this one's gonna be over. We're gonna click Outrage, but I don't think we'll ever have the chance to actually attack. That'll do it. A 2-0 victory for Nightmare AC as they win their 3rd championship in the league's history. They've been in the championship all 6 years, and this will be number 3 to their title list. Power, unfortunately, has been to the title twice and fallen short to Nightmare / the Atlanta Firo both times. A good job, though, by the Power. A great run to make it this far. I mean, they were literally in the championship game, so they were the second best team, you know? Like, they literally were one of the best teams in the league. But, nonetheless, the Nightmare are the champs for this season. Congrats to them. And I'm going to leave them up there for the moment. A 12-2 record on the season. It was an abbreviated season, but Nightmare really doing a good job putting their team together. And while I do think that Alakazam, Abomasnow, Toxicroak, Magnezone, Drifblim would have probably won against Blaziken, Salamence, Starmie, Tentacruel, and Swampert, Nightmare also, you could make the argument, put together a good enough lineup that it didn't come down to Game 3. So, very good job there. I applaud him for doing well once again. He is the all-time leader, not just in championships in our league history. He's got 3 the owner of the Great Garchomp has 2, and then I have 1. But he is also the all-time wins leader at the moment, so just dominating in almost every sense that you can. I'm not sure how many MVPs that he's had. I'll have to check that when I do the statistics here in post. But, yeah, that was a very dominant performance. And what else can I say? Except, again, it was a great job, a great season, a good team. Again, congrats to the Power for making it as far as they did. They were literally the second best team, the runner-up, so they can be proud of how they did this season. And I'll be back with our updated statistics, everybody. Hang on just a moment. All right, we're back. As you can see, there's the updated bracket. Nightmare AC again winning the championship. Congrats to them. And a nice run by the Pokemon Power down the stretch. So before we get into awards and such, just going to do some final stats here. Final records for Nightmare AC, 12-2. The Power, 10-7. So, again, a very nice season by both teams. For Nightmare AC, Garchomp now with 22 knockouts and 5 feints. Rotom with an impressive 10-4 as well. And for the Power, Tyranitar 17-9. Moltres with an equally impressive 12-5. So, I mean, pretty good. Pretty good. Unfortunately for the Power, just couldn't get lucky with some of the stuff like Horn Drill, etc. Now, all that being said, let's get to the fun part, the awards for the season. First things first, we have the top 3 awards here. The MVP goes to Tyranitar. This was a vote based on votes by all the managers, and it was a rather surprising vote. I will say first off that not all of the managers casted a vote. Some chose not to cast a vote, so that might have changed things. But for the votes we did get, oddly enough, Pelipper for the Captain Spearo's crew actually came in second in the MVP voting. I think that's just because people were so impressed by the improvement of Captain Spearo's crew, because they've been the butt of the joke of our league for a while, that the fact that they were actually like in a lot of fights this season, I think people felt like they had to throw. I think a lot of people almost thought of MVP like the most improved Pokemon instead of most valuable. But Pelipper was actually the runner-up to Tyranitar. And then a big like 4 or 5 Pokemon mashup for third. So Tyranitar winning the regular season MVP. Finals MVP, of course, went to Garchomp. It dominated. 5 knockouts and a feint. And even then the feint was me taking a gamble. So like it could have like been unscathed potentially in the finals. So it was clearly the finals MVP. It was also the knockout leader with 22 knockouts this season. That puts it in territory of Quillfish from Season 1 territory. So, really good season by Garchomp. Most games played, Tyranitar winning again, meaning that the Power now in the 6 years we've done this, albeit as you can see we had a 3-way tie one year, the Power have had 4 most games played Pokemon. They have the most of those of anybody that is in our league. So, when they get their favorites, they use them and they rely on them. But it obviously works because they've made it to 2 championship games over the 6 years. Most useless, one of my favorite awards. This goes to the Pokemon that had the worst KO ratio, especially for what it was. Heatran this season. No knockouts, 5 feints. For a major Pokemon like Heatran that's very good, that is ridiculously bad. So, therefore, it wins the most useless award for this year. Best team cheerleader. This is usually a forgotten Pokemon that someone didn't realize was on their team or never used. The reason we're going to give it to Ivysaur, there were actually a few Pokemon, 3 in fact, that were not used this season. Crawdaunt was one that we thought about putting on the list, but it wasn't that they were forgotten about by their owner. They just never felt they had a good matchup for it. Same goes with Chinchou. Smooch 'em or lose 'em, I think, honestly just forgot they had Chinchou, so they didn't use it. Ivysaur, on the other hand, they knew they had it, they just didn't use it, so Ivysaur was like the team cheerleader for Farfetch Gardening Club. It was actually the first picked Pokemon on that team, and yet it did not make a single appearance this season, so I felt that warranted it having the best team cheerleader award. But yeah, that's where things are. It's very interesting to see how things have gone down over the years. Just looking at the MVPs alone, the Nightmare After Christmas, aka Doom and Gloom, aka Atlanta Firo, had the first 3 league MVPs, and they've had 3 of the 6 MVPs in league history. In the finals, they've also had 3, being Kadabra, Lantern, and Garchomp. And when you get to knockout leaders, they've had 3 of the 8. So, it's been a lot of the same guys getting these kind of awards. You do see the Pokemon Powers squeaked in there for KO leaders as well. So, yeah, it was a fun season. Next season, we'll try to not have it be as short, but at the same time, not... Like, this is part of why I try to end before we hit the summer months, because my real life schedule gets really hectic. That's part of why we had delays in the playoffs here down the stretch, because we had the later start. We ended up finishing up in the summer months. But this was a good season. I'm excited to come back again next season. It's sort of a debate amongst the players in the league, the managers, on if we're going to do Pokemon Stadium 2 or Pokemon Sword and Shield again. I'm leaning myself toward Pokemon Stadium 2, just to have like a year where we go back to our roots of when we started this thing, and then after that have like 2 or 3 years in a different game, whether it be Sword and Shield or whatever. But I'll see what everyone wants. I know that Nightmare would like to go back to Pokemon Stadium 2. We may even see the return of a couple players that stepped out of the league when we return to Pokemon Stadium 2. I believe My Little Ponyta will consider playing as a result. And that's okay. If they want to do sort of like a Notre Dame style league membership where they only play in the years where they're in Pokemon Stadium 2, that's fine too. I'm okay with that. And so they're up to... They can do whatever they want. It's a for fun league that's not too serious, although we all want to win and have fun. And we're all competitive people that want to win. But yeah, I think a successful season in the books. Once again, congratulations to Nightmare on their win and the Power for making it as far as they did. I'll see you guys all again next year with another Pokemon Draft League. See you then. Bye-bye.